put this over here for now. That way we don't have like a bunch of stuff going on. And I can see my levels. It's a little windy today. I'm gonna ride it up a little bit more on my mic. The only real difference, this is a podcast mic. I don't even know what these are called. Sures maybe, but I'm pretty sure everybody uses these on podcast. Excuse me. My cousin bought it. My cousin bought this mic for his own his own work, but we were doing some voiceover work and he let me borrow it. And then I seen him yesterday at the farmer's market and he was like, "No, go ahead and keep it. I'm not gonna use it anytime soon." So using it again just so I could just have fun experimenting with how I'm recording these videos. I think if you've been watching at least a little bit of them every day, you see that like I'm framing it differently or using a different camera. Possibly today I'm using the Blackmagic Ursa Mini G2. I've recorded a few on the Sony FX3, which looked awesome. The full frame camera on a 50mm lens. Those look sick. I'd really do like that camera. I think I'm gonna need to invest in that as my next camera purchase. I like that camera for a few different reasons. The first being that it's like small and compact, and you can like take that thing anywhere, and it will more often get me to record family stuff. You know, my G2, the big camera, is just too big and bulky. And then I have the Ursa Mini. I have the Pocket 6K, the one a few generations ago. It's like one of the first Pocket 6Ks, and I think the first Pocket 6K. And it's great. It looks fantastic. I actually use it as a B camera when I'm doing stuff inside my room. The only thing I don't like about it is there's no autofocus, and then there's the file size is pretty massive. So regardless of Blackmagic's file size is huge, so you don't really record that much because you're understanding file space. Like right now I'm recording full quality because I want the full quality. I hate having a camera with like amazing quality and then reducing quality. That kind of seems silly to me. So I love being able to have like the full range of the image, the color, and everything like that. So regardless of where it's going, I want to have the full quality and full range. So the G2 is great and I love it, and I film tons of music videos on them. But I like vlogging, and doing this kind of content is a little bit beefier, so I could reduce my file size. But what's cool about the FX3 is the file sizes are so small, but yet the quality is so strong still. And so I love that. I love that about that. And I love the full frame look. I love full frame looks. I love the Alexa LF. I love the way that looks when I'm taking pictures with it. I see the full dynamic range. I'm very excited to play with the Ursa Mini's new 12K that has like the extra, like it's like 16 plus stops of dynamic range. It's like 17, it's like 16, 17, somewhere in there. And then it's a full frame camera. So I'm excited to test that whenever it's out. And then I'm also excited to play with the freaking 65mm version of the Ursa, which is going to be absolutely insane. I think it's going to be a game changer. And I think there's going to be a lot of films that test it out and use it, a lot of commercials that use it because of the image and the fact that it's affordable. The resolution is garbage, though. It's like 18K. That's like, or 17 or 18K. I think it's, I don't even remember. I think it's like 17K. But that to me is poop. Like, that doesn't even make sense to me. Like, why does it have to be so big? But I'm pretty sure that you can reduce resolution and still maintain quality. So we'll see. You know, I'm sure there'll be a lot of hype around it once it's actually released. It's probably going to be like $30,000, I'm sure, which is still amazing price point because there is no other camera like that on the market besides the Alexa 65, which you cannot buy. You have to rent directly from RE. So, all right. So I made a video yesterday, but I haven't released it yet because I just want to get some sign-offs on some people because there's featured people in it, impromptus, and I just didn't want to like post it without them checking it and saying, okay, cool. So they were like phone calls. I got phone calls, and then I was like putting the phone up to the mic. So I just want to make sure it's all good. But until then, man, it's Sunday. So before we get started, let's say an amazing small prayer together. So, thank you, God, for this day. Thank you for this opportunity to be great. Thank you for waking up today. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my daughter. Thank you for my wife, my mother, my father, my brothers and sisters. Thank you for my cousins, my relatives, the friends that you've given to me, the work that you send my way, the obstacles you send my way, the successes you send my way, the people, the clients you send my way. Thank you for testing me, pushing me through struggles, putting me in obstacles that I have to learn to overachieve. Thank you for allowing me to be self-aware. Thank you for allowing me to be able to create. Thank you for the gift that you've given me. Thank you for the people that have an influence on me on a day-to-day basis. Thank you for the people that have had influence on me at some point in my life and helped me in some fashion to achieve the things that I've achieved so far, and have the people and the people that have tested me and pushed me and frustrated me to become a better person, whether I talk to those people or not. The people that have tested me, pushed me, made me upset, made me fail. I shouldn't say they didn't make me fail. They just pushed me to the point where I allowed myself to become frustrated and not be myself, which created a sense of failure in myself. I also want to say thank you so much for allowing myself to recognize the inspiration that I'm getting from this book and the things that are coming from the book, and that I'm able to create wonderful things based off of the feelings that I have, and have the inspiration and knowledge that where I'm going, and the transition I'm making as I read these words. You're allowing me to see my future, see my present foremost, and recognize my past. So thank you so much. Let's have a wonderful day, and let's get to it. Okay, so the chapter prior to this one, yesterday that I read, which I won't talk about it more than just mentioning what it was. It was called Connected Detachment, and that's on page 225. Which the gist of it, which was really awesome, was that you get to learning to look at your life like a movie, zooming out, seeing it as a movie, and recognizing that one particular instance in your life and obstacles in your way are not the defining moment for you. Excuse me. So look at your life like a movie, connected detachment. And so from that, I stopped because I thought that was a great chapter me and my brother got to talk about. And that will come out soon, and possibly today. So the Estatic is the next chapter. And I might have said, I think on the previous video, I was saying static a lot. I was like, and the second chapter is talking about static. And my brother was like, yeah, there's a lot of static in your life. And it is static. And so I'll read here what he's talking about. I read this yesterday, but I didn't talk about it yesterday. So we'll kind of go through here today. So Estatic, it says, have you ever felt pulled in as if entranced while listening to a piece of music? How about while reading a book or gazing at a painting? This may be one of the reasons you're drawn to creative work to begin with. The memory, the recurring experience of sensory joy. It's like biting into a piece of fruit at the peak of its ripeness. Now think of everything held in a work that comes before the moment of perfect balance. All the experiments that miss the mark, the ideas that go nowhere, the difficult decisions that are made, the tiny adjustments that seem to change everything. And this is something I highlighted here. What is the test an artist uses in those crucial moments during the process? How do you know when the work and the working is good? How can you tell when you're moving in the right direction? What does forward motion look like? You could say it's a feeling, an inner voice, a silent whisper that makes you laugh, an energy that enters the room and possesses the body. Call it joy, awe, elation, when a sense of harmony and fulfillment suddenly prevails. It is an arising of the ecstatic. The ecstatic is our compass, pointing to our true north. It arises genuinely in the process of creation. You're working and struggling, and suddenly you notice a shift, a revelation. A small tweak is made, a new angle is revealed, and it takes your breath away. It can arise from even the most seemingly mundane detail, the change of a word in a sentence. Instantly, the message morphs from nonsense to poetry, and everything falls into place. An artist will be in the throes of creation, and the work may seem unremarkable for a while. Suddenly, a shift occurs, or a moment is revealed, and the same piece now seems extraordinary. So I'll pause there. So he like basically, to me, he's defining what that feeling is that we have when those things do spark in us. We have this genuine feeling about a piece of work that before we didn't have, or while creating it we get. And he's defining it as a word called ecstatic. And he speaks a little bit about the, you know, for us, when we define feelings, we can see them, we recognize them, and we could put a label on them. For some reason, we as people like to label things, so we have an understanding of what it is that we're feeling. So he defines that sense of joy as ecstatic. Why you want to label things? You don't need to. Some people hate labels. I don't want to be labeled boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't want to get married because I don't think the wife, like, I don't like the idea of marriage and defining marriage. We're good as a couple as is. We don't need to put a label on it. Talking about relationships, people that say stuff like that. And then there's the people that talk about just not liking labels in general. Like, they hate, I don't know what it is, why people hate labels. I prefer to see and understand what something is and label it so that I can then call attention to it and say, okay, this is the way I'm feeling. And I can, you take advantage of that. Like, you take advantage of being in that feeling, like, oh shit, I'm feeling this right now. This means I'm going somewhere. And I won't take the words from him, so I'll continue to why he is saying that this is a good thing. He says, and I'll skip forward a little bit, you hit a new note and suddenly you feel magnetized. This feeling is the affirmation that you're on the right path. It is a nudge to keep going, a sign that you're working in the direction of greatness. That there is deep truth in what you're doing. It's grounded in something worthy. The epiphany is the heart of creativity. It's something we feel in our body. It causes us to snap to attention and quicken our heartbeat, or laugh in surprise. It gives us a glimpse of a higher ideal, opening new possibilities in us that we didn't know were there. It is so invigorating that it makes all the laborious, less interesting parts of the work worth doing. We are miming for these events, the moments when the dots connect. The moments when the dots connect. We revel in the satisfaction of seeing the whole shape come into clear focus. Let's see, okay. Before I move on, he always has like these little kind of like dots. I know you can't. I'm gonna show it, but you can't really see it. But he has these little dots. I think that breaks up like his next thought. So, again, when you define something, you label something, like the feeling of ecstatic, and I'm sure each person can identify their own versions of that, and it doesn't have to be with just creativity. It could be with anything that you're doing. How you're wanting, working towards something, a goal of yours, and then all of a sudden you feel a certain way when you do something, or you're achieving something. You get a feeling inside. So you should call to attention at it and then recognize that you're moving in the right direction. I don't really got to beat. I don't think I have to overly explain that. He says it so well that it's just more. I'm repeating this idea of making sure you're paying attention to when you have those feelings, so that you can see, okay, I am moving in the right direction. I am going where I should be going. That's all like almost everybody wants to know, like when they wake up every day. Am I making the right choice? Am I getting anywhere? Am I going anywhere? Am I really working away at what's important to me? And so I listen to myself as much as I possibly can, but there's definitely the cloudiness that could come over when you have a lot of things going on in your life, a lot of opportunities coming your way, or distractions too, things that seem like a good blessing, but are pulling you away from whatever inner desire that you have, any real inner goal that you have. It's pulling you away from that bit by other distractions. There are other people that do. There are people that say and speak about also on the other end that you could be so wrapped up and focused on one goal that when other things come in your path, you may avoid those new opportunities that are coming to you because you're so focused on the current one, and you block a blessing. That's where I get the most distraction. When I feel that I'm focused on something, a blessing comes my way, and then I decide to, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna say no. That's where I always have second guessing, because I'm saying, am I blocking what is potentially gonna help me get that? That's where I start to question things more. And the chapter prior, when he says connected detachment, it really helped me understand a decision that I need to make currently by saying zoom out. Don't be obsessed with like stuff, and zoom out and look at your life like a movie. If you were watching the character, what would you want the character to do? And I'm sitting there saying, okay, I know what I would do to this character, to myself. I would shake them and say, stop doing this. You need to stay focused on this, because you've experienced this direction enough. You went this direction enough. You know what this path leads. You know what the feeling that you have, and stop tricking yourself to think that something's going to change. You're tricking yourself. You're thinking that something's going to change about that direction, because maybe whatever reason that you could come up with, there could be a possibility that it changes. If you experience it long enough and you keep coming back to the same feelings, nothing's going to change. People do not change. People grow, but ultimately, I think most people don't change all that much. We get stuck in our ways, and it's hard for us to get out of them, especially as the older we get. So, ecstatic, the feeling of affirmation that you're going in the right direction, a feeling that you get when you're doing something. He goes on to say it's not meant to be understood, but it's there to guide us. He says the beauty of creation is that we can surprise ourselves and make something greater than we're capable of understanding at the time, if we can. I'm just reading some highlighted things now. At times, it's a sense of relaxed excitement, like when you are asked a question that you don't know the answer to, yet you find yourself responding perfectly from a deeper sense of knowing. A rising of energy in the body may create a calm, invigorating confidence. Other times, it's a moment of astonishment when you feel emotions so powerful that you can't believe they're happening. They jolt you, they jolt your reality and push you into a sense of disbelief, like realizing you are driving into an oncoming traffic. Then there's a third kind, where you're gently transported out of reality without knowing. While listening to a song, you may find yourself closing your eyes and being taken somewhere. When it ends, you're almost bewildered to find yourself back in your body, as if awakening from a spontaneous dream. He closes with saying, tune into these feelings in your creative work. Look for the reactions within. Of all the experiences that occur during the creative process, touching the ecstatic and allowing it to guide our hand are the most profound and precise. It's not precise. Oh, sorry. Let me correct that. He says, touching the ecstatic and allowing it to guide our hand are the most profound and precious. I was like, this is not, I was reading the word and I was like, this is not precise. I was like, what word is this? Precious? Bro, mine's going soft. It's getting mushy. So, I'm gonna pause at the end of this, and I have a new chapter I need to read because I owe it. But before I do, I'll kind of close out this video and reference some of the things that I want to reiterate through the week. If you're not watching all the videos and not catching the points that I've made in previous videos, I think as I reflect, as I'm reflecting on my personal journey when I read these things, it always goes back to this thing of you searching for the right direction. Are you pushing yourself? Are you holding yourself accountable? Are you doing the things you said you want to do? Are you loving yourself? Are you treating others kind? Are you believing the thoughts that are being placed in your head? Are you taking advantage of opportunities pushed your way? We go on our own paths. We stay in our own bubbles. We only see our lives, and it's hard to see others. But as we relate to each other in terms of journeys, we all understand that there is going to be a struggle in achieving a goal. There's going to be a struggle in achieving a want. Life isn't about achieving some fictitious fame or money or award. Life is not about those things at all. Life is more enjoyable when you find happiness every day in the things that are right in front of you, the people that are right in front of you, the things that are right in front of you, the things you have currently, the people that you have currently. I can't say this for everybody because there are people that live in very toxic environments, right? And how do they remove themselves from that toxicity? Not everybody is blessed to have good people around them. So if you have good people around you, feel very grateful and do not disregard those people. Some people are stuck in that mud and they will never get out because of the situations they're born into, the people they're around, they feel stuck forever. I say that life is about those things because when achieving something, it should not bring you the happiness. It should not be the reason you are now okay with your life. What we do as artists, as creators, what we're able to do is a gift and is a passion for us. And we can't take that for granted, and we need some external reward, some external affirmation, some external fame to make us feel that we're good at what we do, or we're great, or the fact that we enjoy the art. If we are looking for that, then what we're creating isn't fun. To me, what I'm doing here is fun because I continue to remind myself on a daily basis the purpose and the gifts that I've been giving. So when I frame things differently, light things differently, record audio differently, put myself in situations I wouldn't normally do, it's taken me many years to get to a place where I'm just okay with putting myself out there no matter what I look like, being self-conscious of my image, being self-conscious of what I look like, whether or not people are going to accept me for who I am. Like that's not it. That's most people don't look, are not thinking that I even care about that stuff, but I'm still a human. I still care what I look like, just like you. And so by telling ourselves that looking for external rewards is going to make us happy, we keep ourselves from creating. We keep ourselves from doing. We don't do. We don't act. And I have to remind myself more and more to just keep creating and have fun with it and don't worry about it. And with this book, it is helping me re-energize that knowledge. It's helping reinforce that knowledge. It's helping me to really just keep moving in the direction that I am. I was already at a place where I understood that Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, comments, likes, people wanting to be like number one or whatever, wanting awards from award shows or something. When I started to understand that stuff doesn't, that chasing that feeling of being seen, there's never an end to it, and you want to keep doing it because you enjoy the feeling of it. It's like any other drug. The more you have of it, the more you want it. Dang, the bugs are out today, biting me like crazy. So when I didn't find happiness in receiving those external things, then I was like, well, what's going on? You know, it was more internal for me. What is it? What am I looking for? And I was like, fuck that. I'm not trying to, I want to be happy, and I could be happy today. So just remember that you will have happiness as soon as you decide internally that you're great at what you do, that you're capable of doing it. And if you are patient, and if you are patient with yourself and you're kind to yourself, you're going to grow, you're going to get better at what the craft you're wanting to be. And it's going to take time for you to develop the skill set. The more you work on it, the better you get at it. If you don't work on it, you're not going to get good at it. You're going to suck until you start deciding, I'm going to work on this. And the art is not going to develop until you work on it. Just like Rick said, you shouldn't look at your work, one piece of work, as a defining piece of yourself. No work should be something that you're seeing and obsessing over, that it has to be perfect. You need to do it, release it. Whatever happens with it, it happens. You can't control that, but you need to keep making things and just keep putting it out there and just keep putting it out there and just keep working and having fun and enjoying the moment. If something comes of it, that's amazing, but it shouldn't be the reason why you're happy with creating. So continue to keep creating. I'm going to read this next chapter and then I'll give you guys a next video. All right.